Botanisol Analytics has developed the world's first autonomous disease screening kiosk, which can be integrated into airport check-ins and facilities access workflows. It provides 96% accurate results in under 60 seconds. CEO Dave Tannenfeld is a serial life science entrepreneur who has raised nearly 20 million, not including the 22 million exit by acquisition to a New York Stock Exchange listed company. From Boston, Massachusetts, please welcome CEO David Tannenfeld.
Well, hi everyone. As Brianna mentioned, I'm Dave Tannenfeld with Botanisol Analytics. We make the world's first autonomous disease detection kiosk. It uses lasers to detect the molecular signature of sick patients. And we envision a future where medical diagnosis is automated everywhere and operates at the speed of light. So I want you to suspend disbelief for a moment and imagine if you could go to your corner pharmacy and be screened for any disease with no doctor's appointment and no insurance necessary. That's the world we're working to build at Botanisol. I'm having trouble. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we all know what an unmitigated disaster coronavirus has been. Over 5 million deaths, supply chain disruptions. We lost some of our favorite activities. Our national security was compromised. And it just plain wasted everybody's time. So part of the reason for this is that existing medical diagnostic tests are complicated and expensive, slow to get a result, and they can't go to real-world environments and screen masses of people in real time. But we're working to fix that. This is our autonomous testing kiosk, and it's self-serve, which means anybody can walk up to it and insert their own nose swab or saliva sample and get results on the screen. It's also 96% accurate. And I want to stop here and just emphasize how absurdly accurate that is for a rapid test. It's competitive with any existing medical diagnostic test in terms of accuracy, except our test provides results in under a minute. Our test is also the only software updatable test. And that means that we're ready for the next pandemic. Because unlike current tests, when the new threat emerges, we just push out a software patch and we're ready to detect it. And on top of that, we're very portable. So this test fits in airplane overhead carry-on and goes anywhere you need it to be. So we've been funded by the United States Air Force, the Air Force Research Laboratory, and the Air National Guard. We're finishing a clinical study at Harvard Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. And we work with biochemists at RPI and optical scientists at the University of Arizona. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, show me the data. So I'm going to walk you through some of our most recent data. But first, the technology works. We use a machine learning algorithm to train the software to identify molecular features that are present in sick people's samples and that are not there in healthy people's samples. And our best performance so far is 96% accuracy, 100% sensitivity, and 92.3% specificity. So this is already significantly better than current rapid tests, and it's sufficient to support our ongoing FDA submission. However, there are certain markets and customers that we can sell to without FDA authorization. So it's a tremendous opportunity. And that's because if you just look at the existing market for medical diagnostic testing, it's between $20 and $40 billion a year. But that doesn't include any of the new places that an autonomous kiosk like ours can now go. And let's think of some examples. Airports, military bases, sporting events, schools, offices, pharmacies, and many, many more. So we believe that the total addressable market for this new category of thing is in the tens of billions of dollars. And as category creators, we hope to own 70% of it. Now we have a razor and blades model. All revenue is recurring and all margins are greater than 60%. We make money every time somebody uses the test. We also make money every time we lease or sell a machine. And in the future, we can also monetize the data. So we've chosen the US military as our initial customer beachhead. And that's because they have a life or death need and an almost unlimited ability to pay. And unlike other customers, they also have certain authorities to waive FDA requirements in the interest of national security. So we have a requested order from one military unit in one US state protecting one facility for $5 million worth of equipment. So you can imagine if we could just do that same building in all 50 states, we could be doing $250 million in revenue and be
Hit mute, David.
Yeah, somebody muted me. Okay. All right. So yeah, if we could just do that same facility in 50 states, we'd be doing $250 million in revenue and be a billion-dollar company. Here's why we can do that. This is a letter of introduction from the Chief Technology Scout at Headquarters, United States Central Command. And he's offering to put us in touch with customers in all military service branches and three-letter agencies throughout the CENTCOM area of responsibility, which is worldwide, including allied nations. We also benefit from an unprecedented Air Force program that gives us access to up to $15 million in non-dilutive grant funding to scale our technology. Sorry, there's kind of a lag here. To scale our technology from proof of concept to strategic capability at scale. And that means that every single investor dollar is 100% matchable with non-dilutive grant funding from the US Air Force. So let's talk about how we stack up to the competition. On the left, you've got a PCR machine, and it's a great test. It's extremely accurate. It's the current gold standard. But the trouble is it's hard to operate. It can't go to real world environments, and it takes hours to produce results. So that's not really competitive with our real-time screening capability. Now, in the middle, you've got a rapid antigen test, and this test is very fast and it is very portable. But unfortunately, it's not very accurate. So a recent study out of 2 German universities concluded that these antigen tests are only 60% sensitive and 57% specific. Not a whole lot better than a coin toss. And again, compare that to our technology. 100% sensitive and 92.3% specific. So in addition to the fact that we're already dramatically more accurate than these antigen tests, we're also 15 times faster. And we're the only software updatable test, which means we're ready for the next outbreak. We have one issued patent and patents pending on all aspects of hardware, software, and consumables. And we also have a great team. So I'm a 3-time life science entrepreneur. I sold my last company for $22 million. My co-founder is a Navy surface warfare officer with an IT, electrical engineering, and optics background. He later became a director at a Fortune 100 company and was responsible for developing machine learning algorithms for multiple successful FDA diagnostic products. We also work with some of the best scientists in the world, not only at the universities I mentioned, but also within our company. And our director of research, Dr. Aisha Olgin, is a great example of that. She's a bachelor's in computer science, a master's in international business, a PhD in biostatistics, a professor of medicine, a Fulbright scholar, a Chevening scholar, and she's lived and worked in 6 countries, speaks 5 languages, and is responsible for our research collaborations worldwide. We're already ready to go to large scale, and that's because we've partnered with 2 much larger companies that combined have a total capacity of up to 100,000 units a year. We've received a tremendous amount of awards and recognition. It's all on the website. I encourage you to go take a look there. And we're at an important inflection point in the history of our company, because while we've been doing solid R&D revenue from the Air Force for the past 2 years, we'll have our first 6 systems available for pilot customer use at the end of this year. And that means that we need to navigate this critical transition from R&D company to product shipping company, and that's why we're seeking your support. And we plan to use the investment to maintain our ongoing FDA processes, scale up the manufacturing of our test cartridges, and also hire some key service and support personnel who can actually maintain product in the field. We're offering participating preferred stock at a $15.5 million valuation. Terms have been determined by Howard Lubert of Keiretsu Mid-Atlantic. A diligence report is available. We have already raised $1 million from Keiretsu Forum, and the round is 3/4 closed. And there is limited 20% warrant coverage available to investors on a first come, first served basis. It is almost run out. In terms of ROI, we are at $15.5 million today. Techstars Ventures values us. They're a $420,000 investor in our company, and they value us at up to $100 million post FDA authorization next year. That means you could get a 6 or 7 times multiple in less than a year. So just to recap, we are in revenue. We are 3/4 closed on the round. Every single dollar you contribute is 100% matched with non-dilutive funding from the Air Force. You have a 6 or 7 times multiple opportunity in less than a year. And if you move quickly, you can get a 20% free warrant coverage in addition to your stock purchase. So thanks so much for being patient with the screen lag. I'm happy to be here and glad to answer your questions.